Now I want to show you some of these settings in here, which is everything from your image size, the layout of it, as well as some other aesthetics and model options. So what I've done right here over on the Explore tab still, I've selected an image that I like. So let's copy this prompt, okay? I've got it in here. I'm just going to copy that and make sure I've got it. Let's read through this. So it's a hyper-realistic photograph. Great. Tropical beach, Miami with palm trees. It's sunny. The sky's blue with clouds. Bills are flying everywhere. Money. On the table, an elderly woman's wearing a white hat and sunglasses. She's wearing flashy pink hoodie. Yeah, definitely doing that. Bills are scattered on the table. She's playing poker, laughing crazy. Big gold chain around her neck. Photo is taken from below. So this is like the shot I said, establishing shot, wide shot, etc. And then she says very Katy Perry type pop music video vibe. So like I said, in the style of Wes Anderson in the last lecture, they've used that. They've also done something like a warm pink color palette. Yep, you can use that as opposed to saying bright sunny if you want to say this. And it's also used the camera. This is very advanced. A Fujifilm X-T4 lens. To be honest, I've tried this with and without, and you get pretty similar. A lot of people swear by using certain cameras, like I want to do this on a 50mm lens by this camera. There'll be some nuances and changes. Do I believe it's fully accurate? I'm not sure, but a lot of people swear by it, so you can if you have the knowledge. That's very advanced. If you're a beginner and you probably don't have knowledge of that, photography, lensing, etc., don't worry about that. You can just say things like a bird background, depth of field, etc. So let's copy that, okay? And let's go into our settings right here. So right now, I've got it in 16:9, raw, all these are on 0, in fast, okay? So let's run that and then we can compare when I do different things. Let's hit that on create and here it is. Let's compare that right now. The first thing I want to show you up here on the right hand side, you click to get your settings. Right now I've got it in 16:9, which is just like a normal YouTube video, normal TV. Let's go right across, that's like a Western. So if I keep all my prompting the same, exactly the same, but I've got that setting set as this. Now we should get it in a different layout. And then if I also do the same thing, I can have it like this as portrait, either 1:2 or 9:16. That's like for Instagram and Reels and things. Everything the same. Let's do that. Let's keep it as this and hit enter. What you'll find is you'll forget sometimes that you've got that on. It'll be very, very frustrating and you'll do your image and it'll be in the wrong size. So here is the image that they've made for me in 16:9. Yep, great, very good. And then I changed it, didn't I, to ultra wide, like a Western movie or something, which is this style right here. Exactly the same, different style format. And then we've got our vertical shots, haven't we? Yep, yes. And yes, so if you wanted to do it for Reels or something, then you can. So quite simply, rather than you used to have to go --16:9 like this to do it, you don't need to do that anymore. Quite simply, if you just go like this, you can change it either by clicking, or move the square format. That's for Facebook or something usually used. Landscape, you can absolutely just choose whatever it is that you want. So I'm going to keep mine. There's loads, aren't there? Look at all these. I don't know anyone would use those other ones. I use 16:9 and you get a different layout for your image. Now the mode. Some people like standard, some people like raw. Standard pretty much is going to go with your prompt. Well, let's do it, shall we? Let's go over prompting. Let's keep that at 16:9. Let's go with this. I'm going to hit 1 in raw and then one in standard that was, and this one is raw. And you'll see that one stays to your style that you absolutely did with anything that you put inside your prompting, and one, it uses the actual terminology that it says it uses right here. It says that raw mode replicates and defaults aesthetics of some Midjourney model versions. Using it can help your images be more photorealistic, images more cinematic scenes, cuter characters. I keep it on raw because that's pretty much what I like and use. I make for video quite often, but you can see not much different. Perhaps this is slightly less filmic, maybe that one, but very similar to this one. Not much in them at all, whether it's raw or standard. Keep playing with them, doesn't make a huge amount of difference. What will make difference is over here. If you go to aesthetics, I can hover over. If you have any questions ever, you can hover onto the question mark right here. Stylizations, influences, Midjourney aesthetic is applied. So a low stylization produces images that are closely matching to your prompt, but less artistic. High stylization makes them be able to do whatever the heck they want, okay? So I'm going to keep stylization on 0 raw, which is actually this shot right here already. If I put the stylization halfway up, let's do exactly the same thing. Let's paste that in, and then let's do stylization all the way up, and you'll see the difference it makes. Not as much as the next one I'm about to show you, believe me. So this one was as it was, this one halfway up, here we go. So it's changed the stylization. It's given, think of it as giving Midjourney a little bit more of poetic license to do what it wants. Definitely still low angle, which is great, but it's definitely not as establishing as these ones here. See, these are wider type shots. They've come in a little bit closer, got some motion blur on some of these. And then when I just said, do what you want, give it as much poetic license as you want. Now it's not an elderly lady, it's a young lady. Now she's on a beach, not at the table. She's got loads of people behind her. Bit of morphing on the old hands here and here. You would go in and edit and change those. Here she's holding the camera, gives it a little bit more of a license to do what it wants. Sometimes this can be really good because sometimes you haven't thought of something, and so I run images, if I'm not 100% sure, put the stylization to about here, and I let Midjourney have a play. They're an artist themselves in some way because they've learned from lots of other artists out there, so you can absolutely just play with that. The next one you probably don't want to do. This is quirky qualities, generated images resulting in unique and unexpected outcomes. Believe me. So the first one we did down here, which was this one as is, and then if I do exactly the same one, let's put the weirdness up halfway, let's play with that, and then if you want to do the weirdness up all the way, let's do that and have a look, and you'll see how weird these become. Sometimes I've got nothing I've prompted for at all, this becomes completely useless. So here is weirdness on halfway up, and here is weirdness when I've got it on C3000. If you're ever concerned about which one it was, you can't remember, see these blocks underneath right here, it'll tell you the basics for the size, style, and also stylize I've changed here, or the weirdness, for example. Halfway up, weirdness right here, getting slightly more weird, absolutely, but not really weird, changed them in here. And here is weirdness up all the way. She's buried up to her waist in sand. Here she looks like she's in a old European city, or perhaps it could be parts of Miami. It changed it altogether. I've done this, or I've used weirdness, and I've just got an abstract image of something completely different. There's a lot of information in this prompt, so it won't go too weird. If I just had a cat and tried to prompt weird, I might get something completely different when the weirdness is all the way up. And it's very similar with variety right here. I'll just show you, if we go all the way up, halfway up, sorry, and paste that in, let's go with that, and then let's go all the way up, and you're going to get pretty much a variety of images. It means that all four also in here should be completely different from one another. So you can see, and I put it halfway up, here's the one with the bluish background, here's one with a stack of money on top, that doesn't look very good. Here's one where it just looks almost photorealistic, here's one set like this. They're completely different from one another. Even more so, if I got it all the way, I've got like a Pixar computer game, I've just got a pink background, I've got people playing poker in a wide fisheye lens, and then I've also got a guy here. There's nothing to do with a woman, old woman sat down playing poker at all. So that's changing that. I've never needed any of these features because I don't need to change the weirdness. Unless you want to change the stylization to give yourself some inspiration, you'll pretty much want to keep these on. The format you want, I like raw, standard, you can play with this, not a crazy amount of difference. The version is always the latest one I put to. I don't know why you'd want an older one, unless it was for animation or something, but there's no reason to. This unlock personalization, remember in the initial lecture about Midjourney, I showed you where you can start personalizing and you can start selecting images and it will learn about you. That's how you can do that. And then I just keep these all down the bottom because I trust my prompting. Now, speed is the last thing. Depending on the package you are, you'll get X number of fast hours. And there's also turbo, fast, and relax, which is the slowest. I keep it on fast. I'm never going to use up my hours. If you start running low, you can put it on relaxed and then save them for when you need it later. Good if you're working in teams. And then stealth mode on or off. That's whether or not they're going to show up on this explore tab. If you have the stealth mode on, they won't ever show up on here. If you have it off, then they will. So there are your settings. I hope you enjoyed some of those weird and wonderful variety that it gives us right here. This, if you want to take a screenshot or realize it, this is pretty much what I work with and what I'm going to work with for the rest of this course. Completely up to you if you want to change a few of these. And now you know the reasons why. So exciting on the next one now. Now we know how to prompt and our settings, we can actually do some things right here in the editor for an image, which is very, very exciting. If I go to one of our creations right here, let's say this one, I can do all kinds of things. I can get variations of this. I can edit it. I'll show you everything inside the next lecture.